something to drive fast, something you can drive to church.
Your rear wheels don't last very long.
You don't like being in this car, I can tell, man. So this is our new billet intake manifold that we've installed on a bone stock GM 572 crate engine. There's no mods done to it. It's your normal GM crate engine. We dynoed it with a carburetor, 627 horsepower it made on RDTS dyno. I'm going to show you the results when we bolted the intake on. If you notice, something neat about the intake is all the injectors, they're on the inside of the manifold. If you look down there, got the injectors on the inside. Same with the throttle linkage, it's in the middle of the throttle body, so you don't see, you know, a nasty throttle linkage hanging off the side of the manifold. Another thing which is kind of neat is the TPS sensor is mounted to the throttle linkage on the inside. That's a pretty trick, so you don't see a bunch of sensors. Everything's hidden on the inside. We've also built the fuel regulation into the back of the manifold. Now this is a 16 injector deal for the turbo. We're only actually using 8 injectors on this natural deal, but nonetheless, the regulators, everything is built into it. So you have a feed, goes into a regulator, which goes to a return. Let's see right there. And then you have your fuel pressure gauge going right there. You can adjust your fuel pressure right in the back of the manifold. You don't have to buy a fuel regulator, you don't have to mount it. It's all built into the intake itself. We also have this Electromotive GT, which is a standalone engine management system, and it has a crank trigger ignition, which this is your distributor, so we eliminate the distributor. No more distributor, which is nice. That cleans up some things too with the wiring. And we have individual coils, which are ugly and mounted on the dyno, but it looks good in the car. And it just makes for a Sano install. We've also have billet valve covers that we've made to match the intake. We just threw these 572s on there just to show you that yes, this is a 572 big block. Stock GM crate 572. Look at what this manifold does for the throttle response on it. It's just amazing. It's like a rocket ship. The motor made 627 horsepower carbureted. We made 680 horsepower bolting the manifold on. 690 foot-pound feet. This is a stock GM crate 572. Look at what this manifold does for the throttle response on it. It's just amazing. The motor made 627 horsepower carbureted. We made 680 horsepower bolting the manifold on. 690 foot-pound feet. here's our latest pull. Starting off at 3,500, we've got 645 foot-pounds of torque, 656 at 36, 663, 666, 68, 71, 73, 75, 75. Okay, so but this is what's even crazy is it started out at 645 foot-pounds. Look how long it holds 645 foot-pounds. This is now 639 foot-pounds at 5,500 RPM. So for 2,000 RPM, it only dropped like 25, 30 foot-pounds. It makes a peak of 669 horsepower and 675 foot-pounds off a motor that made 627 from GM with a carburetor. So that's basically 40 horsepower and 40 foot-pounds of torque by bolting an intake manifold on. That's pretty impressive, just for an intake change. You rarely see those kind of number changes. Another nice thing for you 572 guys is we've set up a fully programmable, laptop programmable fuel injection kit. It's already pre-tuned for you, so you basically just bolt it in and go. But if you ever want to make changes, this is like one hell of a system. Basically, you go in, you select your file. We can go in here and go into a VE table. If you want to change the fuel curve, we can go in and change fuel in any part of the RPM. We can change ignition, and it all comes with the manifold, the injection, the ignition, the fuel system, the regulators. It's a complete kit that you bolt right onto your 572. Very nice. Horsepower at 5,700, 670 at 4,500. Imagine that in your 69 cruising on the street. Somebody pulls next to you. Yeah. That's the latest pull. 674.8 foot-pounds, 4,500. 675 horsepower, 5,700.